Welcome everybody to another battle report. This is the first round of the Dead of Winter GT that took place this past weekend during a snowstorm in the Mid-Atlantic. Well, a snowstorm was threatening, I should say. So Mike Rossi and the Shambling Horde crew decided to make it a one-day, 4 games, one day, master style. Let's get it. This will be round one, control scenario. I was up against longtime acquaintance here at GT's in Corey. He has an incredible Forces of Nature list that is all named after the legendary rap group The Tribe Called Quest, and his list is called The Tribe Called Nature. So in his list, he has a chieftain, just a naked chieftain. That guy's pretty nasty. He has a druid with the banner of command, which gives him an extra die to his command rolls. That druid's rocking heal and surge, of course. Two tribal warrior regiments, I believe. Yep. I know there's a horde, right? Yeah, there was a horde with fire oil. Two Longhorn regiments. Those guys are really good. 20 attacks, hitting on threes. They have Crush 1. They also have Thunderous and a Rally Herd. Why not? Earth Elementals, obviously an absolute rock. See what I did there? Yeah, they're defense 6. They're a great unit. They've been a staple in Kings of War for a long time. Air Elementals, they're pretty scary with the Brew of Strength on them. They're Crush 1. They hit on threes with 25 attacks with Leaper, so they can see over stuff. Really cool unit. He has some Fire Elementals, but those Fire Elementals are actually upgraded to the Guardian Brutes. Just a carryover from Herd from 3rd edition. He has a regiment of Centaurs. Those are pretty standard Cav, Crush 1, Thunder 1. Crush 1's kind of nice on a Cav because, with hindered and stuff now, you don't get all your Thunderous if you're hindered. You don't get any Thunderous if you're hindered. Beast of Nature, these guys are pretty nasty. He's not rocking wings on them. I don't know if they can still get wings, honestly. I think they can. Crush 2, Vicious. But the cool thing is they have this ability called Enrage. And what Enrage does is they get pissed off the more wounds they take. They get an attack for every single wound they have. And then he has one greater Earth Elemental to round it out. My list, and this was pretty close to what I just played in the last one. I have a Dracon Lord. I have 2 mages, one on horse, rocking Lightning Bolt and Alchemist Curse, and I actually really like that setup. Gives that mage something to do when she's not Alchemist Curse, like early game type things. The other mage is Inspiring Talisman because I kind of need Inspiring. Has Barkskin and Blizzard. I'll kind of go over, I'm going to make a video after all the 4 battle reports and give you my take, kind of like on 4th edition and Elves in 4th edition. Palace Guard, 2 hordes, 1 regiment. They are really good. 2 critters of troops. Stormwind Cav with Jesse Boots because you want to have Thunderous Charge when you charge. And 2 Glade Stalker regiments and a Dracon Rider regiment with Helm of Confidence. So giving them guys inspiring, so when they're out doing their bidding, they can rock out. All right. On the left side, we are playing control. This right here, that is a forest. Oops. There we go. That's a forest. There's nice little neoprene mats underneath, so we know where the footprint is when we can move that out of the way. So there is his tribal warriors. There's longhorns in back. Air elementals, of course, rock elementals, and his greater rock elemental there. On this side, no, that big monster's beast is not part of his army. That's actually just a piece of impassable terrain. There is a neoprene mat underneath, so we know where that footprint is. And he has one of the regiment of tribal warriors back here, just kind of staying out of. He realized I have a decent amount of shooting, and they would definitely be a prime target. Just kind of like a narrow corridor there. And he has the centaurs tucked in behind a hill here. Here's his guardian brutes. There is his force of nature and the other longhorns. Somewhere around here, I think this is the chieftain, and I think his other guy is on the left side there. All right, let's check out my deployment. On the right side, I have my Dracon Rider, my cab in there. Scouted up my 2 units of Glade Stalkers. I have my critters right here. Here's the mage on foot inspiring. Here's one of the horde of Palace Guard, of course. Kind of centralizing. I have a regiment or a troop of critters in behind them, going the wrong direction. And on my left side here, so he definitely split up his forces really nice. Um, we're basically going to be fighting two battles here. Like what happens over here, what happens kind of in the middle, right? So knowing that, I thought I don't think I can win this flank, right? He has a lot of pressure here, and he can also, face this way and pressure the middle. Um, my idea with this Dracon is to kind of just threaten him. The only thing that has range on me is his Earth Elemental or Air Elementals, and toe to toe. I don't know how that goes, but I doubt he's just going to want to throw them out, right? So my initial plan was I'm going to kind of delay this flank. I think I'm stronger in the middle. I think my shooting, I have a lot of lanes of shooting. Like obviously my glaze stalkers are in the woods there, but my two mages can unload in this direction. If I threaten enough with the horde, this regiment, even if I throw this regiment away, these guys can constantly reposition if I want them to kind of spread him out and keep him honest. Um, I look like John Madden. To keep him honest before he decides, or if he decides to commit that direction. I know that's a lot, but and of course hindsight is 2020. I know how the game goes, but this is really kind of what I'm looking at in the early game, and this is the things that you need to take into account because like Corey is a really good player. He's been playing war games for a really long time. Is In fact, our last game was in 2015 at the Unplugged GT playing Warhammer Fantasy. That was the last time him and I actually got to play against each other. So it was great to see him and get a game with him. So he does get first turn. I I know it's unfortunate to get first turn. It happens 50% of the time. But with my shooting, like I really like to get that first turn under my belt because I do have the scouts and I can move up. His turn isn't going to be anything crazy. He moves up in here in the woods. These guys, I think, have a wild charge if I remember correctly. So I mean, he has a lot of muscle over here, and we're playing control. So if you think of the table being divided up into six quarters, like he can easily come to the middle if he needs to, and also fight for these basic four quadrants of the six. Over here, yeah, pushes up pretty aggressively, leaving these guys kind of in reserve. I this move kind of surprised me, like right off the bat. I'm like, that's. I mean, they could just sit back there. Maybe he thinks that he has enough muscle that he can go against me, and kind of leave them in reserve and kind of lock down that table quarter, but bring them in late game if he needs some unit strength elsewhere. So yeah, and it's right to my turn one. So I reposition like this. I'm giving this guy doesn't have range on me, so I outrange him on this flank. So I'm just repositioning, waiting for him to kind of commit to something. Um, my critters, yeah, they're just hanging out there. I'm going to start taking shots. I'm going to see if I can soften them up. He put this cav unit up top. Now the brutes can't get in anywhere. I don't think. I don't think they have the charge range to anything. And of course, neither Longhorns. This guy's range 14 on his charge. I forget how I line it up. We'll have to see how that goes. But my idea is I'm going to open up the shooting here on this cab unit because they're the immediate threat right now. I think maybe these guys actually can make it. Maybe I was giving him that. I knew he couldn't. I knew he couldn't make it to the palace guard, which was kind of a mistake. So I what I do here, I move these critters here because if for some reason I don't waver this unit with my shooting, which is a possibility, it might not happen. He can't double charge this palace guard unit, and without being able to double charge them, I know they're safe. If the brutes come in, we're going to be fighting. There's some counterplay here. These guys aren't going to be able to see them, I don't think. If they do, if they are positioned here, the woods are going to kind of block that. So I think I can win this fight 1v1. I also have, another horde to the left. So we'll see how that goes. But You'll see, you'll see how rusty I am, and we're getting used to fourth edition rules and all types of stuff. So there's gonna be some mistakes made, I promise. Give me 1 second while I grab a drink. So here's kind of, I won't call it a gambit per se, but here's kind of what I'm setting up. I have 18-inch fly here. Nothing can threaten me, not even his flyers. I'm staying out of 20 there. I'm kind of, I want to envelop him. My thought is like go this way and just keep putting pressure on until he's close enough that I have to make a decision. I mean, I could always turn face and go this way if I need to support the middle. And this is impassable here, so there's a impassable base there. And then, my Palace Guard backed up with another Horde could delay this flank if he decides to come this way pretty hard. So we'll see how that all works out. So let's shoot. Yeah, let's shoot, baby. All right, so my shooting goes off and does pretty well. I get 14 wounds on the cavalry unit. They're nerve 16, so I wasn't able to kill them, but I did waver them. So that is a nice benefit because that's going to buy me another round of shooting, hopefully. And going on to his turn two, and look at my time. I took a little bit of time there. That could come into play. All right, so he does take this charge, which it's not bad. I mean, I'm sure he's not too scared of Gladestalkers hindered in the flank. 24 attacks on fives with elite and no crushing, so fives and fives. Not too worried about that. He pushes up aggressively with the Longhorns, and he does a pretty interesting move here with the force of nature, beast of nature, beast of nature. He positioned him like this, kind of protecting the flank here. I don't think anything that I have can get in here. Uh, so this unit's pretty tucked in. This is a woods here, so I can't see through. Um, yeah, the only let's see. Yeah, so only my Glade Stalkers can see there. So yep, he does charge in here, and then I kind of realized my first mistake. Arc from this unit can't see can't see the guardian brutes. That's unfortunate. So, in my not haste, but in my trying to protect this horde by putting these guys here, forcing these guys down to this side, it actually took them out of my line of sight. So that's unfortunate. That makes this, a little bit more dicey. If he gets two throws at me, it's gonna be interesting. He moves his chieftain up like that, and these guys back up off of the hill. They were here, and in their wavered move. On this side, he pushes up a little bit more aggressively. Now he's seeing kind of what my plan is here, and he thinks, hey, maybe this big guy should come to this side and help out a little bit. And then there's I forget what that guy is, a chieftain? No, it's not the chieftain. Yeah, anyway. So yeah, pushes up like that. And let's see what happens. So 6 wounds here. They kind of underswung, but I don't think they don't have Strider, and they did have to go through the woods to get there. No matter how he arranged it, you know how in fourth edition now you don't have to take the most direct route. So if you nick a woods like we did in third edition, you can kind of avoid that if you have the movement to get around. The way his pivot was, there's no way that he can make contact. Because he's not nimble, so he didn't have two pivots. He only had one pivot. He had to go through the woods. So that's why it saved the Palace Guard 6 wounds. They are nerve 25, defense 5, so they of course hold. And going on to my turn two, and I position like such. So what's happening now? I figure I need to help this. I don't think the Palace Guard can pop them on one go. If for some reason the Gladestalkers can do some wounds, that'll be excellent. Get some wounds on there. Maybe the Palace Guard swings pretty well. They're on 3s and 4s with elite. I'm kind of missing Banechant right here. I took out Banechant for Barkskin, and I was really missing the Banechant because Palace Guard on 3s with CS2 is nasty with elite. So yeah, I was Palscar were killing things all weekend. It was just like I could really I could kill things a lot quicker with an extra CS, and especially being an elite Bane chant really helps. Anyway, so what I decided to do, I I do use the bark skin here. So I take the Glade Stalkers into the Beast of Nature. My thinking is if I can get a couple bark skin on here, you know, their defense 3, it's bark skin elite. I should get 4 to 5 bark skin, 3 to 5 bark skin. Right now he's not hurt, so he only has 7 attacks. So I'm thinking this is a good idea. When I was praying, I whispered to my dice right before I attacked with the Glade Stalkers. I'm like, please don't hurt him. Don't hurt this beast of nature because I don't want him mad. So I rolled the dice. I think I did 1 wound, so he only is going to have 8 attacks coming back, and I should have a bark skin on there. So with that in mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to just flank this guy. I'm going to take a turn. He's still going to be there with the sticky combat next turn. So I'll have flank possibilities here, flank possibilities here. He's going to have to realize that that's coming. And yeah, so also I take the critters in just to kind of block up his chieftain because he's actually that boy's kind of mad. He's pretty good. So that's what I do on this side. Oh, let's go back here 1 sec. Yeah. So I decide that this corridor is a little small. If I'm going to be stuck here, I'm going to need the regiment to come in here and add some muscle. So I'm doing this a little earlier than I wanted to make a decision here and keep this horde kind of in reserve to deal with any threats that are coming this way, or if I need to resupport that way. Yeah. Over here, I do back the Dracon up. It's just like, hey, if you want to come in, you're going to have to take on some Dracon. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. So after combat, critters do 2 wounds. They are inspired. I threw inspiring on them. That's what that token means. And I did 10 wounds to the brutes. I think they're a nerf 17. I'm guessing. So 7 twice, and they stick with inspiring around. Yeah, I don't think anything like did too much. And there's the 1 wound. 1 wound on the beast of nature. Yeah, I would have. I kind of wish I could have got some more and made this. If this unit pops, if I can one-shot this unit, I'm in really good shape. But unfortunately, I did not. And so his turn 3, down to 35 minutes. And just a quick glory picture, glory picture, glory picture, glorious picture of, you know, kind of what this beautiful battle looks like. I love seeing some of these old school GW Beastmen minis on the table. So let's see what he does. All right, so he's saying like, let's commit now. If you're gonna toy with me with these Dracon, you're gonna have to go to war. This was a good play, so if the Dracon goes in, they'd be hindered. That's not where you really want to be. He has counterplay if I go into the rocks. Yeah, he set that up pretty well, and of course I can't get to the Longhorns that are tucked in behind. This is a great example of really solid layering, I think, in armies. You don't always see players layering, and I think at 4th edition you're going to see it more because units can charge through if they double charge. So if, for example, if my Dracon were here and not engaged, like both of these units can charge, whereas in 3rd edition it wasn't a possibility. So they, you know, this guy's charging first, they move over, these guys can go right through, hit, and then be at their final spot. I love drawing on this thing. All right, so he decides that he definitely has enough muscle on this side, and he moves his air elementals that direction to support the greater rock elemental. Upside down picture showing that his chieftain did 6 wounds, or no, I don't know. I don't know what that's showing. Anyway, his chieftain. I know his chieftain did some wounds. Oh, yeah. So what that was showing was these guys turn to face this way. Obviously he goes back in, and look at this. Oh man. Yeah. So they only had 6 wounds on him, and I don't remember exactly how many he did, but he got them to pop. They were inspiring from this mage, so yeah. I wish I could remember what it was. I think he was like better than 6, but no more than 9. So like 7, 8 twice to get rid of them. And yeah, that's unfortunate. He rolled pretty good for the nerve check there. He also swung pretty well. Those guys hurt. Those guys hurt a lot. So I did have a 2 bark skin on there. So I don't know how many wounds he ends up doing there. Chieftain does 4 wounds to the critters, and my Glade Stalkers did stick. My turn 3. So abandon ship. I take the Dracon. This is my turn 3, so I'm thinking if I go here, I'm keeping these guys busy, right? I mean, this I'm not. This is not my favorite move. I think I could have easily have like faced this direction. You'll see why this gets even more complicated. My idea was to go here. He's gonna have to face. He's gonna have to decide to do something here. If I turn back this way, I don't know. This was like I'm getting low. I'm starting to get low on time. I'm under half with over half the game to go. Uh, yeah, so it's not my favorite move. Trust me. Oh, there was some mistakes made for sure. All right, so speaking of cavalcade of mistakes, all right, there's a lot going on here. Let's break it down. I push up my regiment to clog up this center. My critters, of course, go back in. I do have the flank here on the brutes. That should make quick work of them. I actually was not even hindered, which was really neat. Um, so that's great. These guys were still stuck in. They probably could have. I could have with if I withdraw. I could pop through and be over here, but then I'll be hindered if they go so far. Um, I probably could have withdrew them and just shot at those guys if I don't go back far away, far enough. So what I decided to do, I take these critters into these guys to pin them kind of in place. And for whatever reason, I was very nervous about this guy. I wanted to make sure that he was out of the picture. The cab did it on their own. I really didn't need the Dracon Rider, and by putting the Dracon Rider in, it really made my reform awkward. So what I ended up doing, I think these guys backed up and they only went an inch, so I couldn't even like pivot this the Dracon's here on this base. I couldn't really pivot them right. And if you look, that's a flank. Man. Like I didn't need him, but if for some reason this guy stays, right? Say the Knights, they pop Jesse boots. I know they're 36 attacks. They're on threes. Thunder 3. They should pop. But if I have a really pissed off beast of nature that I don't pop and he turns, he's gonna one shot that cab unit. And yeah, I think I overestimate. I think I was too fearful of that guy. These guys are still alive, by the way. They've been wavered a few times through shooting. I think I finally get them in this one. I think this lightning bolt gets them this turn. They're definitely over their uh, devastated value by now. Yeah, man, that's what that's looking like. Yep, another shot of the board. Okay, it goes as planned. Now I'm like, all right, that's not bad. Like we're looking decent. You know, we took the brute unit off. We took the cav unit off. And then I'm like, oh, that that guy's giving up a flank to the air elementals, which Corey capitalized on immediately. And I'm not doing much to this to the chieftain here. I'm just trying to hold him in place, just like I'm trying to hold the longhorns in place here. And it is his turn 4. Yeah, it's his turn 4. Okay, so he takes the Longhorns face there, and then his horde decides to come this way, along with his rock elementals coming this way, and the greater rock elemental goes into my regiment of Palace Guard. That's going to hold them up, and then the air elementals, yep, they take the flank because yeah, he's a good player and he's not going to give up a flag. He's not going to not take a flag. He also brings this unit of tribal warriors to the fray. So now his second wave is coming in, which is a good plan. I imagine he, after the brutes go down, I'm thinking maybe he's like, I don't know if he's that really concerned. Because, like, my Glaze Stalkers, they're not going to do a whole lot. You know, I mean, the shooting's decent, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how he's feeling here. I would feel like if this was me on his side, I'd be like, okay, this second wave coming in from this side really needs to put in work. But then again, you know, he has the earth elemental or the air elementals, and they're actually waiting until you see this next on my turn how well they're positioned. So he does 5 wounds to the regiment. And I think, how do these guys have wounds on them? I don't know if those are these guys' wounds. I don't think they're their wounds. I don't think anything hit them. Um, yeah, so then my critters are dead from the longhorns, as they should be. And it's my turn 4, and the clocks are getting a little rough. 17 minutes. Oh, did I not even get a picture of that? Hold on. Oh, yeah, sorry. There's just the pictures were wrong. This is my 5, I guess. 4, 5. I don't know. Let's figure it out. But the order's correct. I don't know what the dice are. Anyway, so the Cav go in, they're hindered, so they're just going to be hitting on 3s and 4 or 4s and 4s. But what I realize is now, after I go in here, that these guys are in the flank. That stinks. And I didn't realize it. I didn't recognize it um, when I was moving these guys because I ended up these dudes killed the tribal warriors, I believe. Yeah. And we fight back here. I'm starting to take alchemist curse shots at these at the elementals. I'm actually doing wounds to him, but he's also healing them with this gentleman right there. His priest that has heal 4. Heal is great on defense 6, and he made good use of it here. And yeah, so we're rocking out. And so what happened here? We both kind of didn't even look at the side of the table on my turn, and I totally didn't move these guys. I didn't fix them. Corey was an absolute G and he said, "Oh my God, you didn't move those guys." I said, "Look, I don't want to move them. I'll just. Do you mind if I just face you? Like, just face me, like charge me." Uh, you know, I was giving up a flank. He was cool about it because we both were so engaged on the right side, and he's like, "Oh my God, dude!" And he's like, "You need to move those." So I said, "Look, I don't want to move them. Like, if you just give it, let me face you and just charge me." What an absolute mistake. Like, these guys should be over here somewhere. Um, he didn't punish me for it, and I mean, well, he's going to be able to charge them, of course. And that's what he does on his turn 5. He charges the Dracon. What a bonehead play on my part. I mean, they deserve to be dead, and they will be. But yeah, that was just a dumb play. Starts moving in, closing the gap here. These guys are kind of like stuck in. He does have a good heal here, so these guys are getting healed. And he takes my chieftain into the palace guard, which I was like, that's not a big deal until I looked at the list, and he's not yielding, so he's a badass dude that's going to stand in front of palace guard and delay me. He does take the flank here, of course. That's going to make short work of those knights because even the tribal wars are pretty good, and the air elementals have a lot of attacks now, and yeah, they're gonna make good on that. So this was like a big turn, I feel like, in the game where I just was like, oh my God, I made too many mistakes. And this is why, like, if you see this, I'm down to 9 minutes now and it's going into my turn 5. I'm really low on time. And that's why I think I made the mistake with the Dracon. Just trying to rush. And it was just rusty, man. Like, we're 4th edition. I'm trying to play new rules in my head. We're not having any issues. Like, it's absolutely great game. It's just me being slow. So yeah, he does 5 wounds here, and yeah, moving on. I don't know what that's showing. I guess he just keeps moving. Or is this me shooting, maybe? I don't know. It's over here. Yep, does 7 wounds. And going to my turn 5 with only 9 minutes left. I have to go back into the chieftain. Taking shots. I think I take shots here. I actually waver that unit, which is pretty cool. But I mean, you got air elementals that are probably not going into Palace Guard. They got a juicy charge there, which I don't blame him for taking. And I do fight back here. I did like 8 wounds. Yeah, not much going on there. His turn 6, I am down to just under 5 minutes. He's at 16 comfortably, and he starts pushing forward. So I think I take an overall picture here. Yeah, with these guys stuck on this stupid chieftain, the greater rock elemental goes into the flank of the palace guard. That's gonna hurt. And yes, the air elementals do go into my glade stalkers as I keep trying to shoot these tribal warriors off the table. And yeah, 6 wounds. I've had these guys up to like 10, 11. They get healed. It's been back and forth. Been wild. Let me grab a drink. So my palace guards stick. They have 12 and 5, 17 wounds. So we need an 8 twice to pop them. Yeah, so they're still fighting. And Earth Elementals make short work of the Glade Stalkers in the woods. And yeah, these guys, I mean, yeah, it's well deserved. There's not much in the grand scheme of this, me forgetting to, yeah, that sucks. Such a dumbass play, man. Come on. Oh my God, I am definitely not in like my glory, my best game form. So my 6, not much more I can do. All right, so let's take a look here for control, right? So we have, let's say the quadrants are something like, I think they're about like that. Okay, so I don't have this, so it's my bottom of 6. So if the game ends, right? These guys, I flank here, I should kill there. So I'm not going to have this table quarter because this is 1 to 2. So this is for him. Let's put a C there. If I pop these guys, I should have 1 there for me. So that's Eric. Here, I should have 2 for Eric because that's his deployment zone. And he should have 2 here when he kills these guys. And this is something I want to talk about real quick right before. Yeah. And then he's going to have 1 here for sure. So it'd be 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's no way I can win. Yeah. If it ends here. Yeah. So I have 4, 4. Yeah. No way it can end here. So something. Oh, actually, I didn't kill that guy. I didn't kill that chieftain. Jesus. Yeah. So he didn't die. Even if he does die. So here's an interesting thing in 4th edition. This I'm not crazy about in the rules, right? So if this is the given situation, actually, let's see if I do kill him. Actually, we played it wrong. Now that I look at it. So going back to here, when this unit kills this guy, they can't reform because they're still engaged here. They have to keep this big rock elemental in their flank. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why. We played it wrong. I realize we played it wrong now. These guys don't get to make a reform after killing because they're still engaged. 99.9% sure that that's how it works. Like, I'm supposed to be stuck this way, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever because it's like, all right, if this was, I don't know, if this was like a real battle, the Palace Guard are not going to be like, hey, there's a big rock elemental in our flank. Let's just leave him there. You know what I mean? I think it's like, it's one of the misses in the rules that I think needs to be fixed. Maybe it won't be fixed. Who knows? Um, so yeah, that's how that goes. So we roll for turn 7. I have 56 seconds left, and we do go to a turn 7. And so he makes quick work of my palace guard in the middle. These guys didn't get into this zone. Um, and what did I do here? How did these guys get here? This must be the bottom of my 7. Yeah, so in the bottom of my 7, I didn't have hardly any. I had a minute left. What I do is, so instead of, I give up this quadrant to beat him on this quadrant, so that gets me 1. Um, I'm like, oh my god, I think I might tie this because it's like 1 to here, 1 to here. He has 2 here because these guys couldn't get over into that area, and I have 2 here. I'm like, it's a draw. I'm like, it's a draw. And then he's like, yep, that guy's 1 unit strength. So this is now contested. So nothing here for me. And that is a win for the Forces of Nature. It was an absolute awesome game. It ended up being 1 to 3, right? Yeah, 1 to 3. I killed 1,040. He killed 1,650. Absolute awesome game. It was so great to play Corey again. And that's my round 1, man. I mean, it was a tight game. If I don't make the mistake with the Dracon Riders, I think it's a little bit different of a game. But look, I'm rusty. It's 4th edition. That was my 3rd game of 4th edition. It felt great to get the dice rolling. I know I have 3 more games ahead. So that's it. That's round 1. Elves, I lost it. I lost it bad. Thank you all for watching so much. There's going to be a rapid fire round 2, round 3, round 4, hopefully all this week and this weekend. And then I'm going to do a little summary video of the tournament, how I feel about Elves, where I'm going in the future. I just found out after this tournament I'm in like 9th place in the Mid-Atlantic, so I wasn't really planning on going to Masters this year, but I might be able to sneak in. There's just 1 more GT left in the Northeast, or I'm sorry, there's 1 more GT left in the Mid Atlantic for the season, and I could always get an out of region. I don't know if I really want to go to Minnesota for a GT for Masters because of timing of everything, and like I got vacations planned, so we're gonna see. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you all for watching. You guys have a great day.